Okie doke. This is Gage signing in.
This is Eddie signing in.
And this is Two Boys Podcast.
Boo.
Booms for the end, Eddie. We say booms for the end.
Oh, I said, fuck, man.
What?
Dead right in the beginning. I hit the mic.
Wow.
We're gonna have to get like air mics, just like overhead, hanging from the ceiling, like the classic boxer ones.
And in this corner, weighing in
at 210, Eddie smacking the fucking mic, Serrata.
Humble brag. You can find us at our Facebook group at Two Boys Podcast on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Two Boys Podcast. Find us on YouTube, Two Boys Podcast, the name of the channel. And you can find myself on Instagram at GarbageManGage. Let's restart that. Instagram at garbage_man_gauge, where I post thrifts, finds, flips, and kinds.
Flips.
I don't know. I was trying to rhyme finds.
Thrifts, flips, and clips.
And you can find Eddie at
Surfern, SERFURN. Pretty simple, straightforward. I do a lot of stuff on my Instagram. Sewing. Oh man. Oh, we'll get into that story real fast.
Yeah.
Sewing, or tailoring, really. Furniture, thrifts, just like Gage, so on and so forth. But to get into that quick story. So Gage bought a pair of union pants, and they were too long, and I was like, oh, like I can hem them for you. And I went through the whole process, ironing them, putting in inside out, measuring gauge, and then I do all the tailoring, and then I was like, oh, let me just cut the excess pants off, and I cut into the actual seam of the pants, and I fucked the whole pants up. So literally 45 minutes of doing that.
Is okay.
Yeah.
That's why we thrift pants. And I had already bought
True.
a new pair of black pants, so those will be my work pants when these ones break.
Try to move these closer.
But yeah, today Eddie and I went thrifting. We went to our normal spots, and we found a couple gems. I found some assorted toys that I'm gonna sort through later. Had some rescue heroes in it, so that was a bit of nostalgia for me.
Rescue heroes.
Yeah, like little firefighter guys. And I found a couple other stuff. Eddie found a lot more stuff than I today. Yep. But yes, let's start off with these
San Antonio shoes.
San Antonio shoes. And he's been going back and forth on whether he's gonna flip them or not, but he fits in them. They look fire. They look pretty cool. I'm gonna show them off in the end with the flip cam. Oh my god, remember flip cameras? Those camcorders that had like the big red buttons on them.
Yeah.
Every dad had for their daughter's like dance recital.
I don't know why, but like when you did that like little motion, that reminded me of the Juke phone, that like super thin. Phone, and it just like it did that, like it looked like a fucking switchblade but for a phone.
Hey kid.
Yeah.
Fucking this sharks run this part of the street. Not with this fucking. Oh man, I found some tech decks too. That brought me back. That's another thing too. Like when I go out thrifting, sometimes it just brings me back. Like they had a VHS of fucking, what do they have? VHS or something. Like think of like El Dorado. I loved that movie El Dorado. I thought it was so edgy. Yeah, so we went out thrifting today. Found some stuff, found some cool finds. But I actually just got off the phone the other day with this woman at eBay talking about becoming a top-rated seller. And Eddie and I are well on our way to becoming top-rated sellers. Probably by the time summer rolls around, for sure. But that means that you get that little verification badge next to your name, and you become like a verified user pretty much, and so people can trust you more. Plus you save a little bit on your listing fees, so that's gonna be fucking awesome. But more importantly, what's coming up in 4 days is the beginning of Eddie and I's competition.
Can you start the 24 o'clock?
Flipping, yeah.
Bing, 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 bing.
I still don't know what to call it. Spring flipping, spring cleaning, Flipville, USA. I don't know.
Flip off 2019.
Flip off. Yeah, flip off spring 2019. Yeah. So Eddie and I strictly profit. We probably should make like a shared doc file so that we can like put our listings up there. Kind of like how they did for Sober October. They had to like post their points, and it went to like a leaderboard.
Yeah.
So that we can verify and make keep in step with each other's profits. So basically, the competition is from March 20th until June 20th. So the entire, or I suppose like midnight June 21st. So the entire season of spring, we will have a competition to see who can make the most profit. So everything bought and sold within that time period counts. Nothing bought before counts. Nothing sold after counts. So bought, listed, sold within that time frame. Whatever's pushed, whatever product's pushed, doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if you find it in the trash. There you go. You didn't have to buy it, but take a pic or something like that. You will have some kind of verification for these sorts of things. Like I found a Pikachu duffel bag in the trash. Like someone was just throwing it
serious?
out. Yeah.
Jesus.
And I found those collectible glasses too.
Ooh,
Those
nice.
drinking glasses. But yeah, I'm excited. It's a good little motivation. We've already been on
It
kind
is.
of like an upswing with our sales
Yeah,
lately.
I was gonna say because to just become was it a top rated seller?
Top rated seller, yeah. So for those who are listening who don't know, top rated seller is those who can, from 12 months from where you are now, previous. So it's on a rolling 12 months schedule almost. You need to make 100 transactions within a 12-month period and make $1,000 of sales. So if you're like we're here today in March 16th, so basically it would start at the beginning of every month. So at the beginning of April, it would say since March 31st, how much money have you made? March 31st of 2018, how much money have you made by April 1st? So they reevaluate every 30 days, I think. I think they measure it at like the 20-day mark. So
Yeah.
we should find out soon what our updated status is as sellers.
It kind of sucks
That's my
because like I have a few returns under my belt. One my fault that I discussed last, and then another one because the the buyer was like, oh, it didn't fit. But like I still take a little blame because now I updated how I like present all my shirts now with the measured sizes.
Yeah.
Instead of just going off what the tag says, because tags can say one thing, and you can go to like Abercrombie and a large would not fit me, but I can go to Old Navy and a medium would fit me just fine.
Yeah, definitely have to. I took Eddie's advice on that, and I do like a text editor over my clothing, or at least I should probably go back and do that. I did that for jeans because I know that is the most like precarious when you're dealing with like leg sizes and shapes, especially mine. Like I've notoriously had problems with pants fitting because I'm so short in the legs, especially. So yeah, for my jeans, like I put like a little title card and put like the waist, the hip, the leg, the inseam, the ankle. So
Oh, I don't do all that.
well,
Oh, all right, whatever. But yeah, but just to go off on our journey,
Yeah.
like starting off selling on eBay and to work our way up to a top rated seller, we like done it in a generally short amount of time.
yeah, we started around September of last
Yeah.
year.
So
So we're at the what
6 month mark essentially. So in 6 months, and half the time
I
that
think it
like
might be less. Like September is 9.
yeah,
They're 9.
9, 10,
Oh,
11, 12, well, 4, 7 months actually.
I'm stupid.
Well, we're in the beginning of March still, so like technically still 6.
We're in the middle of March, bro.
Fuck, never mind.
Dude, March has been flying by.
March
It's
Madness?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like January lasted forever, and now we're already in March.
Yeah,
It's like
it fucking did.
Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, so like I'm pretty hyped about it. I'm super excited too because like this competition is not like for here since we're in the New England area. Like we're just getting out of winter now, which means people get to do garage sales and estate
Yep.
sales, and now we can expand going farther beyond the reaches of just your regular thrift stores, which is nice too. But at the same time, like we run into like some hiccups because you have bad tagging systems that like fuck the clothes up.
Yeah.
And then you have sometimes like people do know what they have in terms of brands,
Mm-hmm.
so like it's easier for them to want to mark those prices up because they already know people are going to want something like that. So like for us that kills
It's also sentimental value too. People
Yeah,
don't
that
really
too.
want to let go of things. So you just have to work on your people skill. You have to work on your negotiation tactics. Go in strong. Go in educated, so you're not checking your phone every like 13 seconds.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, flip, flip, flip,
Yeah.
flip. No, oh,
Like,
flip,
a
flip,
lot
flip,
of- a
flip.
lot of
'Cause then they
more
know, and they're gonna
information.
make you a high target.
Yeah, a lot of information like beforehand can save you a lot of time and energy when it comes to thrifting. Like today for me, I found a couple vintage. Actually, I think I only found one vintage shirt, but actually I'll show it right now.
Save it for the flip of the week.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I have a more detailed camera.
Okay, actually.
Now that we have the camera, like,
Yeah,
let's
these
utilize
insoles
it.
came in with the fucking sash shoes, so.
Yeah, Eddie almost thought they didn't fit. He's like, these things are so tight.
Well,
Oh my
even,
god.
I know, but even with those on, they were like snug.
Yeah.
But now that they're off, they actually
They
fit
look
really
fire,
fun.
dude. They look
They
fire.
fucking look
And I'm
good.
surprised they lasted so nice. You have a lot of light colors, a lot of bright
Yeah,
colors.
I
in
mean
there.
the soles on here are like barely touched
Yeah,
too.
no, I was kidding.
So yeah,
Wow.
but yeah, if I was to sell these Sash shoes, they're lightly worn. They have a couple stains on them, but one of the comps for this exact same one sold for $48, and that was without the shipping. It was like $10.99 with shipping. So like that person sold it for pretty much $60. So if anything, I would have sold these probably for 45, like $44.99 free shipping.
They're very nice shoes.
Yeah.
In person, you really got to experience them up close.
Yeah, they're really
The colorway's
nice.
really nice.
They're dumb light. They're really light.
Well,
Almost feels like I'm just wearing sandals.
You've also been stomping around in Doc Marten boots for the last
That is true.
all of winter. So now
Fucking
anything
walking
feels
around like Rock Lee, like with weighted legs.
you finally taking the cinder blocks off your fucking toes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so top rated seller is like a big status symbol for us, and I actually told that to the woman on the phone because I was like talking about. I was like, yeah, me and my friend, we talk about it. This has kind of become the coveted position. There's also super seller, which is the next tier. So we'll focus on one thing at a time for sure, but we're almost there. We're very, very close to becoming top rated seller. For me, it's all about transactions. Eddie and I actually both passed the $1,000 threshold. Now we're just basically trying to bump our numbers up to get towards, to get to that actual transaction. And yeah, we're well on our way. I'm super stoked. I can't wait. We should have a little fucking celebration.
Yeah.
But it'll run right into our competition, so we got to be dead serious.
Oh yeah.
Because the stakes of this is, no pun intended, if Eddie wants to go to a steakhouse, but the loser pays for a dinner. Who the winner chooses to go, and also at the dinner, the loser has to wear a shirt that says "My flip is weak."
Honestly, I want to have a shirt that says "My flex is weak."
My flex is weak. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, the winner
flex
gets to
is
decide
weak.
whatever the shirt says
Yeah.
within reason.
Yeah.
No, like, nothing that'll get me like arrested. Yeah. So
I wear Skechers.
Oh no. Yeah. So I'm super stoked. It's gonna be a long haul, but I'm excited for. The sun is finally coming out, as you can see from this video is gonna look awful. By the way,
The sun will come up tomorrow.
right now, dude. The sun is like playing
Yeah,
tricks.
it's partly cloudy.
It's gonna
today.
like, if you look at this video, it's gonna like change
It'll
color
look bright
temperature
as
so much.
fuck.
No, it's gonna like blow out and then like shrink. But
Yeah.
hopefully
Oh, it's
the
whatever.
GoPro adjusts over time.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Or just listen to us on Spotify,
Or you don't have to
Overcast,
look at us.
Google Podcasts, Apple Podcast, fucking everywhere podcasts are found except for SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Maybe one day SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else? Just that's also me. I recently just got an opportunity to go to California. Would be this summer. So I have a phone interview to see what that's all about. And I will be for a month. So there'll be no podcast for a month. Sad. We should like pre-record episodes and
We
put
could
them
do
up.
that.
Yeah,
we could. Or like we can do it on our behalf to continuously post online.
That's
and
true.
like put up short video clips. We can really do a lot of like vlogging type videos because that's not out of the realm of like what we can do. We do have our podcast, which is our main focus, but at the same time, that could force us and like give us the ability to do other things. Because I know people who like vlogging, and also too when it comes to thrifting, there is a lot of people out there who think that people who thrift and find like these coveted finds and whatnot like are just faking it and are just like pretty much paying people just to make it look like they're being found in those stores. So I think it would help us like validate like what we're doing is like actually possible. There was this girl today, and I was like in my head I was like, please put it down, please put it down, please put it down. She had this nice like retro like snowboarding puffer jacket.
Yeah.
And it looked nice. It was black and teal, like black background with teal and purple accents around it.
Was it the Columbia?
I think it was the Columbia.
It was the Criterion Columbia.
Yeah, man. And I was like, fuck.
I passed that one up last time because it didn't have a discount.
Yeah. Because it was.
It was priced like a $24.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, she deserves that one.
She deserves to pay almost market value. I looked it up. I already did the comps on them. I was waiting for the tag to be in sale.
Yeah. But yeah, But that's the thing too, because like we're trying to be legit in what we find. We get like super excited for the stuff that we find
Oh yeah.
too.
Sometimes too excited when you think you have something, you have the fucking white whale.
Ooh.
Okay, dude, because and you don't have to get into it personally, but my mom used to collect Beanie Babies because she thought they had a bunch of value. Talked to my dad about that. They also went bankrupt when they were like 20 something. So, Thai Beanie Babies have always been like a meme to me because it's like how useless they are, yet there's like a couple that are like a grand or something like that. So, anyways, I was digging through the plush section. There's like a kids toy section, and I was digging through the plush toys, and I found a couple things, maybe like a Snoopy here or like a Build-A-Bear there or something like that. And I saw this Thai Beanie Baby, and I was like, oh, it's nothing. But then I looked at the tag. It's kind of old. It's got like I think it's like 1999, and I flip it open. It says Fuzz, and I type in Fuzz Thai like Ty Beanie Baby, and the first thing that pops up is like an $800 comp, a $500 comp, $350 comp, and I was like, oh my god, I struck gold. This thing's like $1.99, plus it has the color of the day, so it'll be like $1. And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I found this. And then I look at the specifications, and I'm like one model off. I'm like a year off from what the actual Beanie Baby that's worth hundreds of dollars.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I overshot. It was. I mean, I didn't buy it obviously,
Yeah.
because then the other comps for my actual Thai Beanie Baby that I found are like $1.99, $5, and I was like, no. After you've seen the triple digits, you really can't go back.
Yeah, you
And I'm not
can't.
gonna flip something for $4. Like
Fuck
maybe
that.
before, but I don't know. Now the margins, my expectations for margins are a lot higher, and I'm
Yeah.
starting to make. Oh, pardon me. Take the mic for a second. About margins.
No, definitely, because I've been getting a few close calls with some of the items I've been selling, and like because now I'm including free shipping. I mean, me and Gage are including free shipping on a lot of things that we sell now. Partly because clothing is super light, and on top of that, you're only paying like $3 to $4 if it's under a pound.
Plus, free shipping just looks good. People
It
expect
does,
free
yeah.
shipping from now
Oh,
on.
yeah,
People
you-
don't like to pay plus shipping.
You'll move your
know?
product way faster
Yeah.
if you provide free shipping, because like people aren't accounting for what the price is on top of shipping. They're just seeing that one number. It's kind of like buying shit off of Amazon Prime. It's like, oh, it's just that's
Yeah.
just the price.
That's
and
the
it's gonna come
expectation
here in 2
people have
days.
built for sure, and it just looks better. And you can even bump the price up a little bit. They don't notice because they have nothing to compare it. Well,
Yeah.
technically
Well,
they have something to compare it to.
But yeah, but that's what I do with a lot of things too. So I just recently sold a boombox. I don't know if you want to like pop it up here. I don't
Yeah,
have it.
sure.
I shipped it this
Sure, go
past Friday. No, Wednesday. I shipped it out Wednesday. The guy should have gotten it by now. Bought it for $10, sold it for $270 free shipping.
Nice.
But the comps were like before that one for that same model was $220 with $60 shipping. So like
Yes.
like it was the same thing. And the guy was super appreciative of like my price value that I put on it, because he was like, yo, some people like who try to sell vintage boombox like really overshoot it and like put
Yeah,
it
it's
for
just
500.
unattractive. Do something reasonable. Like you already bought it for so little, like relatively speaking. Make your profit within reason and move on. Obviously, you can push the envelope, but at a certain point, it starts to look unattractive to buy.
Yeah. Also, too, like I don't want people to go crazy about like I just pocketed $270, because in reality, that's just a gross profit of $270 after eBay shipping fees and PayPal fees. My real net pocket expense, or like that I got to keep, was like around $140. But even still, like turning $10 into 140, like that's a $1,400 like margin that I just created.
1,400.
1,400. Yeah. Sorry. Point mark. 1,400. I'm thinking of stock market terms.
He double centupled his money.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you want to see it that way, you always want to cover your cost of goods, shipping, and fees, and whatever's left over. If that doesn't cover at least, or like whatever your net profit, if your net profit isn't at least half or more of what the gross profit is, I don't think a product is worth it,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Mhm.
Because like I literally gotten a few close calls with some pieces that I made like in the end like $2 and $3, and like that's not really
it's not
worth it.
pushing.
Because if you're gonna like break it down in an hourly basis, like I just made I made $3 an hour like for that moment.
Yep.
Unless you're pushing out like a bunch of products that like you're profiting $3 off, then that's a little different. But like that has to be like really fast
Even
moving.
then, it's still a little iffy because you want to be able to, because that money is not static. You know, it moves around. So you want to reinvest that into your our businesses of flipping.
Yeah.
And that money's not going to move very far very fast if you just make $2 off that. That doesn't really give you much fuel to then put back on the fire and keep it going.
Yeah.
So, at a certain margin, it starts to slow you down. In the beginning, when we can take whatever we can get, yeah, but now we have a certain momentum we have to maintain to keep inventory in our store. It costs money because then you have to also account for every month you pay the piper when it comes to eBay. Every month you pay the listing fees and the insertion fees and the final value fees. So, Eddie accounts for that, but then it comes back to you at the end. So you want to make sure you recoup your costs. This is of course speaking completely from an amateur standpoint, but the way I've seen it is like mo money, mo problems, but you get mo movement. Like
Yeah.
you get more stuff in your store.
More responsibility.
Yeah, you basically like if eBay is a search engine, you're creating more results for people.
Yeah.
Because if you only have shoes, that's great.
Oh shit! I
You
actually
know,
forgot. I'll take it out when we start
yeah.
doing the find of the days.
If you just do shoes, that's great, but that means that you're just gonna have listings land on your page for shoes and things like that. So if you want to focus on that, go by all means double down on that, over index on that. I spread out mine far and wide. Whatever I can find that will flip, I pretty much pick it up. Obviously, I have a bias because I'm only looking for things that I know of. Typically, I don't think I have one piece of women's clothing. I think almost all is men's because that's where I drift towards. That's the style I can pick out more easily.
Mhm.
Plus, women's market is super saturated.
It
So
is.
it's a lot easier to pluck out the
Yeah.
men's stuff because women's are so much to choose from.
And then also on top of that, for women, like they can wear men's clothing.
That's a
you
good
know?
point.
So like it doesn't matter. It's a
Yeah.
win-win either
Yeah.
way for them.
It's free real estate.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of just been rambling pretty much about this. Not in a bad way either.
Yeah.
I guess overall, if we want to like focus on the main thing for today's topic, if you're looking for good margins, just find better clothes. I was just watching so I follow and watch Rally Roots. They're a couple that they resell online. They're resellers. They thrift. They do a lot of whole market, sales, and they were like people were asking, he's like, oh, how do I make more money like on eBay because like my margins are too small. I was like, you got to raise your standards. You got to stop settling for comps that
Gotta take
are
risks.
low. Yeah, you do got to take risks. But
Because
yeah,
you might not push that product and it might not recoup its own value right away. But I've noticed, I don't know if eBay does algorithms, but I noticed when certain things sell, you kind of have a rush. Maybe that's just my bias, maybe a confirmation bias of like, there's certain product that I was pushing that, obviously was pushing very quickly. But either way, it gets you basically sprint. March is my sprint month right now. I'm trying to get to that top rated seller status because once I get there, it will make our lives so much easier because it pushes us up. It gives us clout, like actual verifiable native clout in the app, in eBay. Because those who shop will see us as verified users who can be trusted, who have, and then after that, there's that slight half step to top rated plus, which offers a lot more benefits too, which only just takes a couple reorganizing of our stores.
Yeah.
And things that pretty much we already do, like one business day handling, free returns up to 30 days, which I already do by default.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and that's pretty much all we do. Plus, if people order the weekend, it's not like we have to ship it out Sunday because there is no Sunday shipping. Like,
Yeah.
so if people
the stores are closed.
yeah, if people order things on Friday through Sunday, all of that can be shipped on Monday. So it's a lot, and that's when most of the people do their shopping anyways. I don't know about you, but most of my listings, they get offers at around Friday because people, it's the weekend, they're relaxing. They've got all their chores off the table. Now it's like me time. Oh, let me look for that thing that I was trying to find.
Yeah, that was something I learned too. With like, I haven't done an auction style like listing in a while.
Me neither.
I felt like I should have done it for the boombox because I had so many people watching that thing before somebody pulled the trigger. I think I could have done a bidding for that.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
and let those guys kind of take control of what they wanted to do for that actual
I
price.
can see that. Yeah.
But yeah, but like one thing I learned about auction listing is the best time to start it is at, I think it's 6 p.m. on Sunday Central Time, and have it
That's
end.
very specific. I
Yeah.
didn't know you're gonna have such a specific number.
Yeah,
I
well,
thought you'd be like, yeah, middle of the week.
again, this is from Rally Roots. Like
Sunday.
Sunday 6 p.m. Central Time.
Why is that?
Because it's the weekend and then.
Oh, it's a 7-day auction. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. So
That makes sense.
it'll end on on that day.
And that like ending soon, that attracts people, and that's when
Exactly.
people will have the time during the weekend at the very end of it, and people always scalp for things, or they snipe. Not scalp. Scalping's for tickets. Sniping, they snipe at the very end.
Yeah.
And it keeps going up.
So, like, if I do find a really good item that I think I can do that with again. Like I've only done it for one item, and that was the Red Sox jersey.
Mm.
But I messed up because this is before I knew. Like I had the auction listing start on like a Tuesday, and then it ended on a Tuesday at 5, or like at 9. It actually ended really late in the night. But still, I think I would have made a little bit more money if I had it set for the weekend.
Yeah, it makes me reconsider because almost all the stuff that I had was buy now and auction style, and then Eddie was like, "Well, why not just do buy now?" And I was like, "Huh." He's like, "Not a lot of your products are in demand." I was like, "Huh," and not a lot of people were buying it, so I was paying listing fees for no reason. I was like,
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean that was killing us in the beginning.
so, and especially because freaking buy now, you have to pay a listing fee every month as opposed to every 7 days if you
Yeah.
wanted to relist it as an auction style. So buy now is just so much easier. It gives you more control. It's less panicky, so you don't feel like you have to like undersell yourself. You can really give it time because you can revise it as many times as you want throughout that
Yeah.
throughout that month.
Yeah.
Unless you actually like run out of stock and relist.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Yeah, like I'm doing pretty good right now, keeping my listings above 50. So like I never let it hit under 50. And that's just a personal preference
Yeah,
for
I'm
me.
under
There's
50 right
nothing
now.
like there's no incentive on eBay for you to say over a certain amount of listings unless we go on to plus or bigger sellers.
I don't think there's any numbers that you have to keep up. It's just how you handle your product.
Yeah.
As it was explained to me, it's basically just increased reliability on customer service.
Yeah.
That one day handling all that business.
Cool. All right. So you want to get to find the?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Let me.
I'm gonna get my things.
Gosh dang camera. And we'll figure it out. Pretty slim episode. Not much development. You know, while Eddie's finding his thing, to be honest, you know, there was a recent development with my motivation, as it were. I know we talk about goal setting and stuff like that, and for me, it's always been super tough, landing goals and figuring stuff out. Or not even landing goals. What am I talking about? Just making goals, following through with them, and I'm still like in that earlier phase, and I want to make sure this motivation stays and it's like a stable long burn. But I recently just heard from one of the people I watch on YouTube, and he basically just gave this like kick in the ass kind of motivational speech, like you're not living up to your potential. You're not You're not living up to your potential. You're not trying, and you're rewarding yourself for basically nothing. And so, even if that's not true for myself, which it actually kind of is, I took that as a kick in the ass to actually write some stuff down and get it done. And I was about to like close the page on my goals and wake up the next morning and be like, okay, I'll start it tomorrow. But instead, I finished a treatment for a movie I've been thinking about, and now it's written down. The whole story written down on paper, and now I'm held accountable because of the podcast to finish it. So the next goal is to write the first 10 pages, which I don't put any set dates on them. Maybe I should. Well, I guess I can experiment with that. But putting them down, putting that notebook in a really inconvenient and annoying place, so I have to confront my goals every time I'm going to do something. Every time I'm going to log onto my computer, make sure I have that notebook full of goals. That's just a small thing, but I will keep you guys updated on how that's working, because it feels good right now, and it's all about the follow through, just like golf. So now I am switching on my camera. I am recording. Eddie, can I get a quick clap around?
Yep.
Okay, get a harder clap. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Have you seen the latest episode, the YouTube episode,
For what?
our podcast?
I did. Yeah.
Did you like the overlay?
It was. It was really good.
There we go.
All right. Let's. I guess I'll start off with me. I'll go. Yeah. Wait. So how much stuff did you get today?
Just the Snoopy thing. I got the
Really?
toys, but I'm gonna sort through it later.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's start off with this American Heart Association. This is a vintage tee. Definitely.
Can you hold up nice and still, please?
Yes.
Thank you. There we
So
go.
I'll talk about like what makes a shirt vintage,
You're good.
or like a couple things that'll make it vintage, or so you know. Big thing is, so a lot of vintage shirts have a single stitch, and this is just a much stronger and more dense stitching in comparison to like a more. I'll use this one as an example. A more modern shirt has what's called a double stitch,
Hold it.
like that.
It's a little harder to pick up on, but
And
yeah.
so double stitching is just much faster in terms of like getting shirts manufactured and whatnot. But yeah, but that's one way to tell. Another way is just looking at the tag. This one is for this shirt. It's a Fruit of the Loom tag, and lastly but not least, it's made in America. So like those are a couple of big things that you would like to look. Also, sometimes I don't think this shirt has it. Actually, hold on.
It's also screen printed.
Fighting disease and dreams. No, it doesn't. Okay, but sometimes screen print shirts have dates on them for when they were like made. This one doesn't, so there's no exact date on it. But usually, if it's single stitch, it's before '94. So this shirt is definitely like early '90s, early like mid '90s. But yeah, this shirt is like just really nice. Like just the design of it, like I was
Oh
pretty
my god,
shocked.
I didn't even notice those were people.
Yeah, these are people.
I thought those were, if you hold that up, I thought those were like paint drips for some reason. I just
No.
never looked at it. There was like a quick look. I didn't even notice those were people. That's
Yeah.
cool.
But since this is for the American Heart Association, I'm actually I'm gonna sell it, but the proceeds will go to the American Heart Association. I don't know. I feel like that's a respectable thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a dope shirt too. So whoever gets it might have a nostalgic connection with this foundation, and to know that their money is gonna like they get something out of their money. Like one, they get a shirt, and then two, it goes to their choice or the American Heart Association. I think is a double whammy. Good for the soul.
Good for the hat.
Let's see. I mean, I got these Sash
Yeah, let's
shoes.
zoom in. Let's actually, you can throw them down on the ground. Let me give you. I'll give a quick. There we go. Little
So
dusty
I
there.
recently, again, Rally Roots. Shout out to Rally Roots, seriously, because they have been a bountiful amount of information for me in learning about thrifting, what brands to be looking at, because they've been doing this for years, and on top of that, they don't go for the like high end brands all the time, but they do have a lot of good, like niche, more local or more like underground popular brands that don't get a lot of spotlight. So SAS is I'm pretty sure it's San Antonio shoes. That's what they said on their channel. And so they picked up a couple of their shoes, and these shoes sell pretty good. And honestly, like just wearing them, just sitting down and wearing them, like they're lightweight in comparison to my Dr. Martin boots. And the quality is actually, like from what I've heard, is really good. Like right here, this is just all leather, and then like the mesh is nice, so it's really breathable. But yeah, some fucking SAS shoes, dude, and they're like nice and snug. They're pretty secure. All right, next thing that I like personally, so I found this Ben and Jerry's ice cream shirt, like this nice burgundy color, and like if you zoom just right there where
Yep.
the cow is,
I got it.
it just shows it's like the town in Vermont, wherever it's from, and I fucking love Ben and Jerry's. It's like among my favorite brand of ice cream. But yeah, this one's actually a personal keep too. I'm keeping this shirt. Oy. This one. This is 30th 30-year anniversary Super Mario plush. Um, this one just was fucking cool. Caught my eye immediately. There was another plush, just a regular Mario, but that one had a stain on it, so I was like, "No, I'm not gonna take that." Um, but I was looking at comps for these, and people were selling these at, I don't know, the comps vary. Like, here's the thing too about comps that I think you'll learn. If something is selling, or there are a lot of comps and they're not selling for a certain price, then that could be an opportunity for you to like experiment and see if you buy something and kind of just lowball everybody in the market, not like, sell this thing for 99 cents. That would be stupid because you're not making anything off of it. But just to lower, like, say if everybody's trying to sell this for, $50, try selling it for 35 and see if people buy it at that price. Because now, like, you see what like is a more acceptable price in that market for items like these, and you're still making money. You're making money faster than those people because they're being a little stubborn about trying to drop their prices. I'm not gonna speak too much on this shirt. I don't know. It was just interesting. It's a high panda shirt. I couldn't find any comps on it. There was two people who had listings on it, but like there were two completely different shirts. I could not find an exact um, comp for this one, so I might just put it up on Depop. I think that's where it's smart to go on Depop. Depop is another selling app. Literally has like the same template as Instagram. So if you're familiar with Instagram and the way it works, Depop is really much the same thing. And that site is more catered to more like culture forward and like lifestyle clothing in terms of how you present it. So I think this might actually do better on Depop than it would on eBay, especially because of listings. And then I'm not gonna show everybody else what I got, but this is probably like the highest marked item I probably got. Ooh, whoa.
Is there a stain?
I just keep finding stuff with this thing. It is all subtle stuff. Like, look right here.
It's an All Blacks logo. That's the laurel that they have, like the leaf. Mm-hmm. You know the All Black team, the rugby team?
No.
All Blacks is the one of the New Zealand teams.
Okay. So
I might be speaking out of turn, but
no,
that is
fine.
The logo they have. They usually have a black jersey with the white leaf that you saw there.
Oh, that's so
it's
interesting.
It's like a national thing.
Okay, so this is a Canterbury, and this is
a
New Zealand brand, and rugby is one of those sports that's like popular outside the confines of America.
That's crazy. That has like the actual address of the store.
Yeah, which is actually really interesting.
Let's go find them.
Yeah,
we found your shirt.
We found a shirt.
The shirt traveled entirely around the globe.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I like that.
Through multiple time zones. Like, look at the stitching detail, like right there.
Around where?
Like in the center where the buttons are, like right low, like that stitching detail. Oh. So yeah, I was seeing comps for this.
It's like a Union Jack.
Exactly, dude. I was seeing comps for this. Nothing was below like $70. Nothing.
Nice. Where'd you find that? What section? The T-shirt section?
Yeah, in thrifty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like.
Oh, okay.
I'm surprised. Like you kind of like blew right through there and went somewhere else. But yeah, that's what I got. And then other stuff, I got like a universal fleece, and then some other stuff that is more local and more niche. So I'll see how those do. They were on discounts for half off. So like if I can't sell them, then like that's very small loss. So I wouldn't mind. But yeah, that's what I got. I'm pretty hyped about. I have a lot of stuff right now, so I hope it starts selling. Like I'm trying to move over to more summer and spring apparel.
For sure.
So,
yeah, I just got a free 100 free listings from eBay. They just like sent me an email and to take offer for 100 free listings up to the 18th of March. So I'm trying. It's definitely motivating me to push things onto their site. So the first find of the week. Are we good? Am I in focus? Okay. Yeah. The first find of the week is this fanny pack, this esports fanny pack.
Oh yeah.
That I got, and I'm not much of a fanny pack kind of guy. I kind of scoff at them because they keep using them as what they call clout bags. Let me take this up. Because they're like, put it diagonal across their chest, and they're like, oh, it's a fucking clout bag. So I keep my sunglasses in there. It's pretty spacious in here, to be honest. But the most exciting part about this is while Eddie was checking his comps, I went and I found this little fanny pack, and inside of inside of it was three crispy dollars. That just $3 in there, and it also had this fortune cookie fortune. First of all, that learn Chinese pork is 猪肉, I think. Apologies to our Chinese listeners for my butchered language.
A Chinese hype beast.
Yeah, for our supreme wearers out there. But the fortune says, turn off the TV and the computer and exercise your mind with a good book.
True,
So,
which I've been doing.
you know, read more. It's you fucking idiot is what I'm saying. And the one thing that I want to show for my flip of the week, besides the fanny pack was kind of a personal choice. I thought it'd be a good accessory to experiment with. Is this Peanuts branded? Well, actually, technically, it's Snoopy and Friends brand. Joe Cool sweater. And it's kind of meta because Joe Cool himself, Snoopy, is wearing another sweater in the sweater. It's Sweaterception. And it's heart, so you could say that it's kind of like Valentine's themed, but I was looking at the comps for it. It's pretty good. I think it's like hovering around 38, $40. So I just like the look of it. I like it. It's like definitely well stitched. If you look at the inside, it was definitely taken to. It wasn't just kind of like laid on top. Like they actually took care. That's the focus ring. The bigger, fatter one is the zoom.
Fuck, I knew that.
There you go. See the inside, you have that like blanket stuff of stitching, where like you see each of the threads that was used for it, as opposed to just like a pattern that was snapped on top. So you can see if you're watching the video podcast, please check us out on YouTube. You can see the individual stitchings on the back. So I just thought it was nice, but I also noticed that because I flipped it inside out, because I've learned my lesson. You have to check every square inch of your piece of clothing to make sure there are absolutely no problems. I would love it if I actually found a problem like right here on camera for the first time.
I know. It's happened to me plenty of times.
But yeah, so that was my fun of the week. Simple enough. And the fanny pack, quick $3. Definitely made my. No, just kidding. Did not make my money back. But I'm gonna take it to my face.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap this up. Okie doke. So that was our podcast. A little. Oh shit. Do not want. Okay. Eddie talk so I don't have to.
Yeah, no, much shorter than before. I think we'll try to get into more actual topics other than just rambling on about, our weeks and whatnot. Oh, actually, I'll get into a little anecdote before we close off for the podcast. So, I box at a boxing gym in Boston, and so one of the guys who works there on the regular, he's actually my neighbor, and he was just about to leave yesterday, and I like stopped him. Oh, like because we like to exchange words because we see each other every once in a while, and then I just got into the conversation about freaking
What you do?
yeah, what I do. I forgot how I approached him about it, but I think I just straight up said, I was like, hey, like quick question, like what do you do for work? And so he's a lawyer, and he does a lot of like takes a lot of malpractice cases for his firm, big cases that like a lot of other firms can't dedicate the time to, so his firm takes on those people. But then he asked me what I do. He's like, oh, are you interested in lawyer? I was like, no, that's not my style. But I was like, yeah, like I do furniture making and upholstery like on the side as one of my jobs. And he was like, oh, yeah, really? Like, we have a couple chairs that need to be reupholstered. Like, where are you guys located? And then I was telling him, I was like, well, like right now, like we're in a really busy season, so unfortunately, like I don't think we would have like the turnover he was looking for.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have that kind of time right now to bring your items in. And then he was like, well, what about you? Like, do you do it on the side? I was like, yeah, like I have equipment at home. I'm actually working on some furniture myself at the moment. And he was like, oh, then I'll bring the chairs. They're just like regular office chairs. They're not like freaking sofa pieces.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, like I'll bring them to your house and you can do them. And like the bitch in me was like, I'm not good enough. Like, oh, and I really commend Ken, that's his name. like I really commend him because he was like very pushy. I feel like he's seen this in a lot of people before.
Yeah.
He's an old guy too, so like he's been around the block.
He's been around the block.
Yeah, so he
Not
was
too
like
far,
really
though.
he was really
Right around
pushing
the
me in a very good. Yeah, no, he's like still kicking ass. He was like really pushing me. He's like, no, 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 look, he was like, look, I only have 8 chairs. You know, you can do 2 a week, 1 a week, doesn't matter. Like I'll pay you for them. Like just buy the materials, dude. Like I just need new fabric to go on top because like the 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 covering for them, they're fraying and they're just thinning on the sides from the fabric. So he just needs them to get replaced, and I've replaced like seat cushions and or like fabric for chairs. So like that's easy, quick job, And if he's gonna pay me for it, like sure, why not?
There you go.
So he was like, look, just think about it. Next week I'll come. I'll give you my card. He's in the area. His firm and his office is in the area, so it's like not even that far for me too. And like again, he's my neighbor, so if he comes home from work and like he has one of the chairs, he just like I just run over, get it, and then come back.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so I guess like what you were saying about the episode you saw about like getting your ass not getting your ass kicked, but like it kicked you in the ass to like get into gear. I guess I'll like throw this in an umbrella term, haha, because of the
Oh
thing
yeah, we had
here.
some discussions later or earlier. I mean,
But if you find an opportunity for something that you want to do, definitely like try to take it. We've definitely like beaten the horse like really dead to the point with when it comes to opportunity. But like at the end of having that like quick like exchange with Ken, I was like you know what, fuck it, right, like I'll think about it for reals, and I'll get back to you about it, because if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't try, if you don't you don't settle for mediocrity, then I don't think you're really gonna push yourself to become a better person. And on top of that too, like the same thing with thrifting, me and Gage, we do take risks and we do take chances on certain pieces. Sometimes they work out, sometimes they don't. I have some pieces here that have been sitting pretty much since I started thrifting, still sitting to this day. But does that mean like I should stop thrifting? No, it just means that some of the things that I got were not the things that I think that we're gonna sell right away.
yeah.
And even then, like there are pieces that I've had here for a while that end up selling after 3, 4, 5 months. So like I have a couple items here right now that actually have finally got watchers.
There we go.
So don't ever give up. And I think that gets into more like baseball terms about like seasons and how the market works and when things sell and so on and so forth. But I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, just take your chances, learn the market, put yourself out there, and let yourself grow.
Words to live by. And
Yeah.
because we forgot last time, let's do starting with you, recommendation of the week.
Fuck.
Eddie's got a book
Put
to
me on the
recommend.
spot. I'm gonna look back at my bookshelf. Ooh, Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Rich Dad.
by Robert
Poor
Kiyosaki. I read that book. Literally one of the first financial books I started to read when I started to kind of wanted to transform my aspect of like what it means to not be broke and not be poor. Because like my first question when I wanted to learn more about money and like how do the rich stay rich and why the poor, my first question is how do the rich stay rich? And like simple answers, like they have multiple streams of profit and earnings, they have investments and so on and so forth. But having Robert Kiyosaki's book on Rich Dad Poor Dad kind of goes in depth as to the mindsets, the strategies, and the markets that rich people get into to kind of like think of your money as like a car, right? So the idea is if you want to get somewhere with your car, you have to use it, right? And the farther, the more you use it, like the more miles, of course. Okay, maybe this is a bad example, but anyways, like the idea is you want your money to be dynamic, not static, because if it's dynamic, it's moving and you're using it. Yeah. Robert Kiyosaki like has a great example is like make your money work for you, don't work for your money, because like that's how the rich stay rich. They're utilizing their money to make more money instead of working for their money so they can get more money.
I see what you mean, yeah.
So yeah, so Robert Kiyosaki, amazing book, definitely changed my whole outlook on like rich people like why some people are mad at them. I'm not mad at like people who have money anymore. Like, there are some bad people with money, and there's bad people who don't have money.
Some
They're
bad
they're
broke
everywhere.
people.
Yeah. So if you want to start like understanding financial independence, financial freedom, how to grow your money, how to make your money work for you, that is that's like book number one in like going into the financial field of economics for yourself, personal economics.
Yeah, and my movie recommendation of the week is Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks and Christopher Walken as Leonardo
Bum,
DiCaprio's father.
banana, banana. I love that movie.
Yeah,
That's a good movie.
it's a fantastic movie. I was just thinking about hustlers and schemers and dreamers, and I was thinking of Leo's character in Catch Me If You Can, literally printing money at a certain point. Yeah, it was such a classic. I loved the ingenuity, and it made me want to be a criminal for a bit. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's not such a long lasting career. But I just thought it was interesting, like how he got away with things, and especially back then when there was no internet. But just like he had such a vision of where he wanted to be, and he didn't really, the means that he used was disguising himself in certain ways and finessing himself. My favorite scene was when he pretended to be the teacher because the teacher hadn't showed up yet.
Oh yeah.
So he just pretends to be the teacher for the class and like has them launch into a full lesson of like reading a chapters and stuff. I'm like, what? Like no student actually wants to do their work. They're trying to be like lazy. They're trying to like look at their time. Look at their watch like, well, if you don't show up in 15 minutes, we all get to leave.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just found it a fascinating film, especially because it's based off a real person. So,
it is interesting.
what's his name?
Son Abagnale.
Abagnale, John Abagnale, or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our episode for the week. You can check us out on our Facebook group, Two Boys Podcast, on YouTube. Hopefully, you're watching, so you can see our finds of the weeks. And
for any of our listeners, if you would like on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, comment on our page or pages your favorite clothing brand
yes,
and
favorite.
why. In 2 sentences. Keep it 2 sentences.
Yeah.
What the brand is and why. Boom.
Even if you're listening years later, we still want to hear it, so we can see the ripple of when this actually gets in contact with people. Yeah. So as always, this is Gage signing off.
This is Eddie signing off.
And this has been Two Boys Podcast.
Boom.